Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a new horizon for Corbin as community members have worked to change the narrative of their home. And an astronaut talks with a group of Eastern Kentucky students, hoping to be an inspiration for all.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is now 6:33 on June 20th. Let's check in with meteorologist Shane Smith for a look at your forecast this morning. Now, I don't know, really the main conversation that we have to talk about this morning is the rain. I know the sun started to come up, but you can't really see it this morning.
In a lot of spots you can't. There is a fair bit of cloud cover out there and fog and rain.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit of a yucky morning across the mountains. Let's take a look at pinpoint Doppler and we'll track those showers for you right now. You can see the heaviest of the action is just off to our southeast, getting ready to move into southwest Virginia. But in our neck of the woods, there's a little renegade cell just west of Jackson that's got some decent rainfall in it. Those showers are going to continue to move off to the east and the the west and northwest over the next several hours, and a little bit of light rain continuing as well back into Laurel County and Knox County and the eastern end of Clay County. Now we take you out to the big picture. Here's what's going on. There is an area of low pressure centered just to the northeast of Nashville. It's right between Bowling Green and Nashville. You can see everything spinning around that low, and all that rain that's coming up through portions of North Carolina into Tennessee and Virginia, yeah, that's heading our way a little bit later on today. Now the visibility is improving. We're up to 7 miles here in Hazard and Harlan, although that's at the airport. As we look outside the studio, it's still looking pretty foggy to me, friends. So just know portions of Perry and Harlan County and Leslie County, it's going to be a little bit of a slow go for the next couple of hours till that fog lifts. Mid-60s right now, heading to the mid to upper 70s by this afternoon. Be sure to grab that umbrella as you head out the door, as we'll be tracking those on and off storms. We'll take a closer look at when the rain may finally end. It's coming up here in a few minutes, Olivia.
All right, thank you. For the past several years, one southeastern Kentucky group has worked to flip the script on a community that was deemed a sundown town many years ago. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has more about the effort from Corbin.
In the early 1900s, the Corbin community was much different than it is today.
In October of 1919, there was a race ride in downtown Corbin, and African Americans were kind of driven out of town, put on the railroad cars, and were taken out of town.
Corbin would then be seen as a sundown town, which is an area that is predominantly white by choice. But since 2018, city leaders and community members have worked to change that narrative, creating the Sun Up initiative in the process.
Our responsibility as Sun Up is to continue to shed light on how we have improved and how we can continue to do the work and improve.
Through monthly meetings, film screenings, and open discussions, the Sun Up initiative aims to educate people on the past while ensuring history does not repeat itself.
There are ways that we can be more welcoming and inclusive and just, and ways that we can change how we interact with each other, how we construct our systems.
For those with the Sun Up initiative and other organizations like the Laurel County African American Heritage Center, creating open and honest conversations is important in making sure Southeast Kentucky continues to move forward when it comes to racial oppression.
You know, I would just like to figure out what can we do to better educate people, to better pull people together and create more unity amongst us. You know, I think that's what I'd like to see done.
Aiming to shine a light on the history of Southeast Kentucky while paving the way for a more accepting and inclusive region. In Corbin, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
Those with the Sun Up initiative say they would eventually like to see a historical marker in downtown Corbin, recognizing those who had to leave their lives behind. A man who spent part of his childhood in eastern Kentucky just returned home from a space mission. John Schaffner was the pilot of an Axiom space mission. As a STEM education advocate, he spent a lot of that time doing video engagements with students from Middlesboro schools. Schaffner says the biggest adjustment while in space was waking up.
The first few mornings I woke up, I slept in the Dragon vehicle, in a sleeping bag. And I can tell you the first morning I woke up, my eyes opened and I had to look around really to imagine if I was really where I thought I was.
The city of Middlesboro was decorated for his space launch. Schaffner says being an astronaut is an important voice that he plans to use to inspire. The Beshear administration is working to provide connectivity to all regions of the state to improve the lives and education of young kids. Sunday, the lieutenant governor helped AT&T present 75 donated laptops to students at Hindman Settlement School. WYMT's Madison Carmouche has more.
The Hindman Settlement School, like many parts of eastern Kentucky, was left with little to nothing after the July flood. The flood happened right before the start of the new school year, which left the school in scramble mode. AT&T Kentucky reached out to partner with Hindman Settlement School to get them back on their feet for the school year.
And then here it is about a year later, and they approached us again with the availability of these funds to provide children with computers. And you know, we've been in existence since 1902, and really our longevity is really attributable to our ability to develop relationships and gain support from the community.
AT&T Kentucky donated 75 laptops to the Hindman Settlement School with hopes of helping to add connectivity to the region.
And they can take them home. So digital inclusion is about access, about affordability, but also about adoption and having the tools to be able to navigate the online world.
Governor Beshear is working to expand internet access to the entire state with the first office of broadband in Kentucky. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman was there to help present the young students with their new laptops.
Our goal is to bring high-speed internet to every corner of Kentucky for our students, for our workers, for our small businesses, and for communities to have that kind of access that they've never had before.
AT&T working with the Hindman Settlement School is just one way that eastern Kentucky is improving connectivity in the region. In Knott County, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
The Hindman Settlement School helps students who struggle with reading. The laptops can help students work on reading at home.
We're continuing to track some light rain action across the mountains this morning. You can see down into the panhandle of Virginia, down into portions of Norton and Wise County, down to the southwest into Lee County. A few showers down around Pennington Gap. That's starting to cross on over into Harlan County. Light to moderate rain just to the southwest of Jackson through portions of Owsley County, moving into Lee County. Also decent little clip of light rain in eastern Clay County. Down to the southeast of London, down around Campground, back over towards Lincoln in Knox County. A little bit of light rain going on, and also some showers from the southern end of Whitley County just south of Cumberland Falls, back over towards Lake Cumberland and Monticello. All of this part of a low pressure system which is working its way off to the north and the west, and that's going to be bringing us several rounds of showers throughout the day. You can always get the latest forecast on the WYMT weather app. Just scan that QR code in the top right corner of your screen to download that app, and you can see temperatures climbing into the 70s by this afternoon. Scattered showers, though, a good bet for most of the day, Olivia.
All right, thank you, Shane, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. President Joe Biden makes new plans to help combat the climate crisis and help build safety measures in areas affected by it.